dominant forms of hip-hop, fin, bubblegum-like, hollow, shallow, stimulating body, no stirring, no soul, which is very, very sad because young people need soul-stirring music.
Yo, what up? Luxurious.
Drums and ammo.
Ghetto. Gifted. Ammbaataa.
It's Ammbaataa, baby.
Jieh.
Hey.
What's up, man?
Man, trying to see what that black privilege is about. I'm tapping in with the clique, the friends and family, you know, the drums and ammo, and the folks that are preserving the culture, you know, still keeping it moving. So let me give you that proper intro. Like to welcome y'all to This, That, and the Third. I got the homie, the Don John DaVinci. We've been rocking since I don't know, 2008, 2009. Something in that ballpark. I was acquainted to your music. If we started rocking in 2009, then I probably heard your music around 2005, 2000. Could even been earlier than that. Could have been earlier than that through Chuck Brungart.
What Chuck is that? Chuck,
the engineer Chuck.
Oh, word.
Oh, yeah, Chuck.
And Chuck was, because Chuck and Al was working together.
Chuck and Al, yeah. So
right.
Chuck, the first time I heard you was at Raphael Sadiq's studio in Blakesley, LA.
In LA, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, that was
I never knew this. Well,
yeah, that was one of the sessions. He was booming them on the big, you know, in the A room, the monster room. And I was like, oh damn, okay. So that was like the first time I heard you, and then we didn't connect till years later, you know, through Al and Chuck. And yeah, so my homie that works with Raphael put me on to Chuck, and Chuck introduced me to Al. You guys are already synced up. So I want to still, like, this is like, since you've been a minute since you had some music out, as far as like the project. So this is kind of like the reintroduction. This is like the, you know, DaVinci of the era of the Two Dope Boys and the pitchforks and faders and the hip hop X's. That was then. This is, you know, that was a chunk. So we gotta reintroduce, get people back in the frame, because it's been a minute, you know, and you know, time, everything moves a little bit quicker now with the internet. So we gotta reintroduce and rebrand. I see you came with the Don John.
Yeah, man. You know,
fresh coat of paint.
I had to give him the whole, you know, the lengthy version. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, I got so many different monikers. You know what I mean? Everybody from the neighborhood know me as Johnny. You feel me? The little kid name, and then people know me by DaVinci. You feel me? Because that's what one of my early rap names that my man Joe gave me. You know what I mean? And then, you know, the more mature and grown up version of that, you feel me, is Don John DaVinci. So that's why you see that when you're searching for me now, you got to search in Don John DaVinci for it to come up. You search DaVinci, then anything gonna come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. So that, I think that played a part. You know, me, you was there in the beginning too, Ambush. I was so late on the whole computer, just putting music online. Like, I didn't even realize, like, you know, when people search your name, like, boops up, everything gonna come up. You know what I mean? Anything that's related to it. So, you know, I got a little bit of more juice just by changing my name a little bit. It's easier to find me, easier to find the music. You feel me?
So let's talk about, that's kind of leads into what I want to talk about as far as like the folks that influenced you early. So
yeah,
that's how fools used to get their names like that. A lot of cats used to get their names from the homies, you know, like that
absolutely.
that was usually the natural progression was like, you know, the homie would lace you up and be like, oh, okay, let me rock, you know?
Yeah.
So give us a few more folks that like put you in line and let you know you were really doing something. Like who's some of the first folks to kind of put the battery in your back, you know?
Oh man, you know what? Some of the very first ones, I got to go back to like the very first rhymes I ever wrote. My big bro Akita, you know, we used to they had a little fake studio at their house. had a computer, and then niggas learned how to splice the computer and put like a little janky mic or headphones on it. You know, we were just doing it for fun back then. But Keita still to this day, one of the hardest rappers you ever gonna hear. You know what I'm saying? You probably gonna hear him drop some shit pretty soon. But Keita, Johan, his brother Johan, him like my brothers from another mother.
That's right.
And they kind of introduced me to just how simple it was to record music. You know what I mean? Yeah. I grew up, we in the Bay, I have a lot of Bay Area influences. You could probably hear it in the music. Grew up in Fillmore, so it's like I grew up idolizing and looking up to GLP, RBL Posse, you know what I'm saying? Herm Lewis and everything he was doing, you know, so, but like I say this all the time, I don't think I was like born to be a rapper, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you hear some people rapping, it's like,
yeah,
okay, they could rap for years, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I was like that. I think I was like I have a gift for like just to identify good music altogether. You know what I'm saying? So it really just came down to me making my first song. And then after that, it was like, I was hooked. You feel me? Like I couldn't stop writing. I couldn't wait till the next time to get to the studio. Didn't have no rap name or even no aspirations to be a rapper. I just like music so much. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of infatuated with being able to put my thoughts on top of a beat. You know what I mean? And making it sound cool. So yeah, back then I ain't had no rap name. I was still, you know, niggas call me JD, my government name. You know, DaVinci wasn't even birthed yet in the era of, you know, Keita and Johan and Cello Mac. Everybody know Cello Mac. He's one of the first young engineers out of Frisco. You feel me? And we kind of was running around together as youngins, and we ended up coming across a little nice chunk of change, you know what I'm saying? When we was young pups out there trying to get our beak wet. And me, you know, I fucked off my little bread, just catting off, you feel me? Cello was the only one being serious, was like, I'm finna get a studio, so we'll have somewhere to do these songs, you know what I'm saying? He went and got all the little MIDI box. I remember because I went with him to the Guitar Center. Got a little MIDI box and a little computer. We was in his mama front room making our little bullshit songs, but you know, they started rotating, like circulating through the neighborhood. And, you know, people was rocking with them for what they was. You know, we printed up some little pressed up some CDs, passed them out, you know what I mean? Just the people in the neighborhood collecting $5. And they started like kind of catching a little bit of traction. You feel me? So I think it was at that time where, you know, I'm playing with words or whatever, and I said DaVinci in one of my verses. And it kind of just stuck, you know what I'm saying? Because my government name, John DeVore. So DaVinci was an easy little transformation into that, speaking towards like just how a nigga fuck with the music and just the art behind music, period. You feel me? So I would say that's my early stages, which was what Keita was birthing at that time was called Urban Royalty, our little clique. And then we switched over to the Tundra, which was when Cello had the studio. And then from the Tundra, that's when things started getting serious. We went and got a studio on Grand Avenue in South City. And then just had everybody coming through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cello was really serious and really talented at making beats and recording. So everybody in the Bay Area was coming through there. And that's kind of like where I kind of got my feet wet and started to kind of birth somewhat of a rap career. You feel me?
I can dig it. So it's funny because you mentioned two things. Like some of my favorite rappers, I think, are cats that weren't rappers. You feel me? Like those are like my favorite rappers, are the cats that didn't, you know what I mean? Like you could tell like rapping wasn't, they didn't come up in the school of like, oh, I want to be a rapper. I'm gonna go do the things that need to be done. I think those are my favorite rappers. The cats that just got it, and it's something different. That kind of
why you say that?
You know what it is? Because I feel like it's almost like you got a hoop cat. You got cats that are naturally, that just kind of got the science of it. Like they know the nuances. And it's kind of like, it's almost like the training is more pure. Like it's more of a pure version. I almost feel like when you haven't chiseled and you haven't been like groomed in the trade. It's something weird. I don't know what it is, but I realized that maybe like 10 years ago. Like, I mean, of course I like the Redmans and the Pharaoh Monte.
See, that's a good example. Some people like that. Redman is like, you could tell, like he was born to be a rapper.
That was
Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne was born to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like literally out the womb. And those, you know, those cats. I listen to a little bit of everything too. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not biased. Like I like a lot of the new shit that's out. You know what I mean? These young cats, I like a lot of their shit. Like my goal is to try to find all these subgenres that's going on in music and in hip hop. I try to find something I like. I don't pay attention to the stuff I don't like. I just try to find something I do like, or that if I don't like it, I just try to understand it. You know what I'm saying? Try to understand where they're coming from. You feel me? Because hey, everybody not gonna like everything you do. You know what I'm saying? But I did definitely have a tremendous amount of respect for, like you said, the people, the pioneers who like built the school of hip hop and the rules and you know, just kind of like built the lifestyle and the culture around hip hop too. I feel like that's why people like Pac and even DMX, rest in peace to DMX, right?
Peace,
was so influential and just so dope is because they kind of like multifaceted, just human beings. You feel what I'm saying? So anything they touch, they probably are gonna be really good at it. Like Pac probably wasn't born to be a rapper, but he was born to be somebody who changed and made influence. So I think just to roll off of what you're saying, I think that's because I agree with you. I tend to gravitate to people who. Another one, a good example too, is Jacka. Rest in peace to Jacka. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of my biggest influences coming up too. You know, he the one who kind of inspired me early on at the Tundra, and heard some of my first bars. And he was like, "You got what it takes. Just keep on doing it. Keep rapping. Keep working on your craft." You know what I'm saying? But Jacka's another one, just a great, incredible human being. No matter what he did, he's gonna shake shit up and he was going to be influential. You know what I mean? It just so happened to be rap and anything else that he was involved in. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up. But, yeah, and that's why I kind of put like Tupac. I don't put him in the box of like he was born to rap. You know what I mean? Tupac wasn't born to rap. You know what I mean? He was born to do a bunch of other stuff. So let's talk about Fillmore. Let's get into that a little bit. Let's talk about some of the. Obviously, you know, you had an album called The Day the Turf Stood Still, you know, and you introduced me, like you really did kind of put that whole concept in front of me to really like to pick it apart and really try to understand it. Cause, you know, you may have heard it a little bit here and there in movies and stuff, but, you know, until like we did that project, it was really something like, okay, now I'm looking for clips to put in the album, and now I'm listening to clips. I'm like, oh, okay, so I learned a lot. And then just to back up even more, when you were talking about like the hoodie crazy too. When you talked about like the new music, what's coming out, you can respect all eras of music. Like you can respect the old school, you can respect what's the contemporary, what's happening now. And I feel like when we were doing your earlier projects, the Data the Turf Stood Still, and the other Sweetbreads projects, I feel like that was one of our edges that we had, me being 10 years older than y'all. So you guys had a grasp of the newer, and I had a grasp of the older, but we respected each angles that we were coming at. And I think that fusion is something that gave us the edge and gave us a little light, you know?
I agree, Brian. And for people who watching, because I'm on live right now, Ambush, you know, we worked on, Ambush been the executive producer pretty much behind my whole catalog. So anything that I put out, Big Bro, he put his hands on it. And I learned a lot just by coming to the spot. Like, I see you got a new little layer right now, but you had the spot where you walk into the room, the studio, and you got legends all over the wall. Only legends. You feel me? I'm seeing Big, I'm seeing Black Moon, I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying? Like the Beat Nuts, I'm seeing all kind of like crazy, you know, like pioneers and legends and not just in locally, like worldwide as well. Hieroglyphics, you know what I'm saying? Everybody. So I'm like, ooh, I got to get in my bag for real. Like I can't be playing. You know what I'm saying? There's a bar that got to be set with this. So I definitely agree, bro. And when I look back, because people still come up to me all the time and tell me that the Debit Cards still is their favorite album that one of their favorite albums. Period. You feel me? Like not just locally, but period.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we wasn't trying to do that when we went in there. You know what I mean? We didn't even know if that album was gonna come out, how it was gonna come out. Yeah. We just in there knocking songs out because you got dope beats, I got bars. Let's put 1 and 2 together, right? But yeah, looking back, going to listen to it now, it's still standing the test of time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's still relevant. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, and between the beats and the bars and just kind of like just the overall art that we delivered, you know what I'm saying? You could tell like all those pieces, me, you, Al, Chuck, everything kind of just glued together at that time, organically. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no deal. I didn't pay you for no beats. You didn't pay me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was the most organic way for music to come together. You feel me? And I think that showed through the music by the way that people have been responding. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that for sure.
Yep. So now getting back to the Fillmore district.
Man.
Give me a feel of it, because like I always like you kind of exemplify the San Francisco MC, you know what I mean, to me. Like, where it's like it's high end, it's definitely street connected, it's complex, it's not simple, and you could feel the influences from the neighborhood, and just being in San Francisco, like a city like that is different. It's not like Oakland. It has its definite divides in the society, in the community. So, and that's what it all took for you to start creating.
Whenever I talk to people who come to San Francisco who don't know nothing about nothing, they be like, "Where Fillmoe at?" You feel me? I said it in one of my songs, LB to the A, Death Valley to the top, from the D to the A, to the O's to the chop, 1100 Eddie Rock, Page Street, Mac Block, Death West, the West Side, get money nonstop. Like, I feel like a lot of people, Fillmore was like one of the epicenters in terms of Black music and culture on the West Coast, like originally, you feel me? So I always had we got a chip on our shoulder. Everybody from Fillmore got a chip on their shoulder. Frisco, period. We bitter and we got a chip on our shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Because we feel like, if you're from Frisco, Oakland, which is the town, we call it the town. All my family from Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, Oakland, San Francisco, Richmond, all surrounding areas, we all locked in. But Oakland kind of gets a lot of the attention in terms of the rap culture, hip hop culture, just Black culture in general, because it's the Black Mecca of San Francisco. I mean, of the Bay Area. You know what I mean? And so, everybody from Too Short to In Vogue, to
Digital Underground. I mean, you could go
Digital Underground, MC Hammer, goddamn 357, you name it, right? To the Black Panthers. And whenever people want to come focus on Black culture in the Bay, Oakland is usually the first stop, and then San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? So we got a little chip on our shoulder a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't mad, but I think about that every time I go put out art. I'm like, I gotta kind of give people a visual of where I'm coming from, because they might not ever see it. You know what I mean? Like when I travel and I'm going state to state, overseas or whatever, nobody ever seen a San Francisco nigga. You feel me? Like never, for the most part. They seen, the Tanners on Full House. You know what I'm saying? They seen Fisherman's Wharf, that one little ass corner of San Francisco. They ain't seen Hunters Point. They ain't seen Fillmore. They ain't seen Lakeview. They ain't seen Sunnydale. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sunny. That's why Sunnydale got a little bit of, they buzzing right now, because now you can just upload music and your visuals off your phone. So people across the world can see the projects in San Francisco now. They can see Fillmore. They can see the things that you will never see on TV or on the news or what have you. So, I feel like it's my responsibility. I'll take that on as my responsibility, and all the music I do, to not only just show them the cutty spots in the city, but to throw out references and kind of, you know, just make our presence felt a little bit more strongly, you know. That's pretty much it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like we got a lot to deliver. It's a lot of talent in Fillmore. Like, I feel like some of the best rappers in the world is just walking around Fillmore right now. You know what I'm saying? And nobody know it. So, you know, I'm just trying to do my part. You know what I'm saying? Uplift the hood, unite, bring everybody together. You know what I'm saying? Put all the negativity and the crazy shit, you know, behind us. Because that's another thing. When locally, when you hear Fillmore, it's usually not a positive light shed on it. You feel what I'm saying? Might be some negative connotations attached to it.
That's right.
So, you know, whatever, that it is what it is. But I also want to show that, nah, it's great music that's coming from Fillmore. We make hip hop music. You feel me? It's dope MCs. We innovating. A lot of the trends that end up catching steam and run around the world started right here in Fillmore too, just like they started in Oakland or Vallejo, just the Bay in general. So, you know, that's my responsibility. That's what part of the reason I'm doing this. You feel me?
You know, it's crazy. It's like, I think sometimes when you're not in the Mecca or you're not right in the spotlight, you actually have more freedom to kind of move around artistically, creatively. Like I always say this, I always talk to Jake One, and him being from Seattle was kind of an advantage that he wasn't pigeonholed in the sound. You know what I mean? Like that means he can go through all of the G Unit era and be like top go-to producer, but then at the same time he can go to the West Coast and do the G Funk, you know, the battle cat, the little, you know, the bounce music. So I feel like
shout out to Jake One. Jay, he a student in the game, you can tell. You know what I'm saying? He's one of my favorite producers as well. And you're right, that's the advantage kind of that we got, or at least I feel like I got, is that it ain't no global sound for San Francisco music just yet. You feel me? That people can hear that and be like, that sound like San Francisco shit. It ain't none of that. So that is an advantage. Whatever we come with, whatever, my flavor, my sauce, like if people gravitate, if they latch on to it, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's been great. I've been getting good feedback from this new album so far, that it's like, because that's the only way I can tell. To me, like, I make anything. I'll go make a jazz song. I'll make a pop song. I'll make a hip hop song. I'll make some singy songy songs. Like, I'm not so fixated on like rules and making something that sounds like whatever, like one thing. You feel me? Like, I like to experiment. I know what my sound is. I know what I deliver, my voice and my tone, and what I sound best on. But I like to experiment too, because every once in a while I do some songs that, you know, I'm like, all right, cool. Might not be my flavor, but I'm gonna do it and give it to the people and see if they like it. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm only doing this half for me. The other half I'm doing it is for people, to share with people. You know, there's been some songs that I put out early in the game that I wasn't too crazy about, and some people love it. They like, man, that's my favorite joint. I'm like, what? That? For real? You know, so I feel like I'll be kind of selfish to not feed them a little bit of the stuff that, you know, that the feedback that I've been getting that they like. If it's doing numbers too, let me give you another one of those. I'm still gonna do what I do though, but every once in a while I get, you know, do something for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up. So we talked about like this, like the sounds, and you know, you have these regional sounds that become popular, like, you know, and you might be, you know, the Bay Area, you might have some kind of sound. Like, so we talked about it before when we talked about the samples, whereas if I talked to Kevin Allen about this, Irk the Jerk, you know, we talked you know, he's going by Kevin Allen now, you know.
Kevin Allen.
Yeah,
grown
Kevin
man
Allen.
shit.
Yeah, so we were talking about like when you get a review or something and you're from the Bay and you rap over a sample, it's like, oh my God, he rapped over a sample. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know, and then that becomes the whole, you know, like because that's what we dealt with the whole time it was, you know, Sweetbreads. But what made sense is like what we're talking about now is like how San Francisco doesn't have that locked in, persona or idea of what you're gonna hear from a San Francisco MC. That when you started jumping on the samples, I feel like it really did embody kind of like the Fillmore, like just the jazz influence. And so it felt like we tapped into something that we didn't consciously go, okay, let's grab these samples, because we kind of give you that era, because that's what, like, even the stuff we did, I can still listen to it, and it still kind of gives you that energy of like San Francisco, like that black, that Renaissance, that the jazz that was going on. And then even when I talked to, then I'm gonna flip the page too, and then so I just went to New Orleans. We were out there, a couple weeks ago when I was talking to you. We were going back and forth, and it's a trip because, like, with the San Francisco MCs that I know, like really, like I know you really good. I know the Jealous guys. We rock, and it feels like
Jealous guy.
Yeah, it feels like y'all have a different connection with the historical value in your neighborhood. That's different. I don't know. And then in New Orleans, it's the same. It feels like in New Orleans, it's the same thing where it's like, you have what's on top, but then you have another culture that's kind of bubbling. That's just kind of like the foundation. So how is
I
it
see
that,
what you're saying.
yeah, so is that something that was passed on to you from like, uncles, or, did you have elders that were kind of blessing you? And
You know what? Absolutely, bro. My pops is a singer. He sang the OG doo-wop, songs from the 60s, 70s or whatever. My mom's could do everything from gospel to opera, you know what I'm saying? Soul music, but just growing up in the city too, all the neighborhoods and the hoods is close together. And like I said, you can walk through Fillmore, any neighborhood in San Francisco, and find some of the most talented musicians you ever met in your life. Because unfortunately, there was some backlash, some side effects of those musical eras, the Renaissance eras, 60s, 70s, and 80s, which coincidentally was also when heroin and crack hit the urban communities hard too. So you see a lot of, broken dreams walking through San Francisco, people playing the saxophone that's strung out on drugs. You see people shooting up heroin, but had the greatest voice you ever heard in your life, that will sing, Donny Hathaway for you for $2, you know what I'm saying, and catch you in traffic. So I grew up seeing a whole lot of that. I'm pretty sure everybody, like Jealous guys, and shout out to them. Them brothers, they remind me of like some of my boys, you know what I'm saying, I was growing up with when I was young. Time travelers, man. That's kind of like what we is. We're able to go back in time and kind of like, soak up the game that they was out from the music in the past. I got a lot of stories from my uncles, from the big homies in my neighborhood, just about, just how to move, how to navigate the streets of San Francisco, because a lot of niggas didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole crack era and the urban renewal shit was like a fucking tornado, you know what I mean? Came through and just fucked shit up. And I seen a lot of motherfuckers fall by the wayside. Pops and everybody, all the men I grew up with was like penitentiary, militant minded, kind of grew up in a Black Panther era, just right across the water. So just the soul, you know what I mean? Just the black essence and the black soul was instilled in me really, really early. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was going through records. Like, we had a record player up until I was like 12 years old. I ain't had no cassette player, no CD player, because my parents are just older. I had those, some people had young parents.
Yeah.
I had old parents. My mama and my pops didn't have me till they was like 38, 39.
Okay.
So my parents is like what most people's grandparents' age. You feel what I'm saying? So I kind of got that. So when I hear other people, like, I can tell like sound like they was raised by their granddaddy or something. You feel me? Like, I listen to people like T.I., people who kind of like have wisdom beyond their years.
Yeah.
Like, you had to be raised by one of them motherfuckers that was like, one of them niggas, like one of the shaman in the tribe. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Like, I was raised by shamans, bro. They didn't have no traditional education, dropped out 7th grade. You know, my uncle or my mom, you know, she graduated high school, but they grew up in an era where just making it was a success story.
Yeah.
You feel me? Survived the racist, you know, the divided South, made it to the West Coast. So they like, we made it.
Made it. We good.
We got y'all. We're gonna get y'all here. We're gonna give y'all all the tools y'all need in terms of knowledge. You know what I mean? We grew up not really having much in terms of resources and like bread. We grew up like pretty much the average Black family, you know what I'm saying? In the hood. Some good times, some terrible times, but we had all the game though. You know what I mean? And I think as long as you got the game and the wisdom and the awareness, then you can make it anywhere. You can navigate through anything. You know what I'm saying? So I could hear that through, like you're saying, I can hear that in a lot of people's music too. And I think that's part of the reason why I would gravitate to people like that. Like my mom loved rap, and she didn't even grow up in rap era. She like, my mom introduced me to Scarface. You know what I'm saying? I always say that she put me on the Scarface. She put me on to, she saw how much I like music, and she was like, well, if you're gonna be listening to this, listen to them. Like they're saying something that's gonna actually, you know, help you, you know, but I still listen to the bullshit too, just because Fillmore is a lot of bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And I was young, impressionable, pops in jail, so I'm highly impressionable about around a whole lot of shit, just getting into a whole lot of shit like the young niggas do, you feel me? But at the end of the day, my OGs definitely planted them seeds so that nigga never get too far off track. Boom, I line it right back up whenever I get too close to the edge. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, bud.
Man, let's talk about Thoroughbred.
Thoroughbred.
Let's give me so that was the crew name that existed prior to Sweetbreads, you know, prior to me being in the loop. So kind of give me you know, history on that and the members and where it's at now.
Thoroughbred. That's basically when I talked about my origins with Keita and his brother Joe, and then we transformed. That was Urban Royalty. Then we transformed to the Tundra, you know, the studio, and then like it's just the evolving name of the group of talented people that I feel like have a stake in, can share the platform of what I'm already gonna be pushing. You feel what I'm saying? And Thoroughbred is the refined version of it. You know what I'm saying? It's young rappers, it's producers, it's engineers, it's art, it's graphic designers, it's photographers, it's fashionistas, everything that you could think about that's a component of you know, of our culture. Like Thoroughbred is that. It is the culture, our platform in which we're gonna deliver the culture. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure.
Man, let's get into.
You heard the album? You heard the new shit, Black Privilege?
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you.
Man, come on, man. Nah, man, the day you let it off, you know what I'm saying? I was in New Orleans still. I know.
Yeah, I know you already said that. I'm just saying it in front of the people so they know.
Oh.
I'm doing the fake shit. I'm doing the fake Hollywood shit.
Yeah, no, I had to let it go. You know, as soon as I caught wind of it on the gram, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. So I had to, you know, once the family, everybody went to sleep, I had to zone in and get in there. No, that thing is crazy. I still wanted, it's the one thing I wanted to put some cuts on that sophisticated G's, man.
Bruh, it sounded naked without your hands on it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I'm gonna keep it real. Like when it came to that album, I was like, I just woke up. I had it mixed and mastered. I was gonna try to find out strategically what to do with it, and I was just like, fuck all that. I'm just gonna put it out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the first time I uploaded my own project too. You know what I'm saying? So I seen how easy it was, and I was like, oh shit. I'm finna go do another album and put it out just like this. Like, so working on some new shit as well. We'll drop some more like Lucy's, you know, in the meantime, in between time, just so, because, you know, I know people gonna run through that a few times, give them some time to run through that album, and then I'm gonna start dropping some more music. You know, I got a chance to reset through this 2020 shit and been through a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like crazy shit, you know, when you're going through like real shit in real life, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I got a tremendous respect for rappers who so transparent that they let you into everything they got going on. Because I can't do that. Like,
Man.
y'all gonna have to forgive me for that, because some shit is just so private and personal. You know, I want it, and out of respect of the people that I'm going through it with,
Yeah.
I can't. Some shit that I'm not gonna share on live, like, or you know what I'm talking about, or on the ground. I'm just not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna start doing a couple of. I don't even like doing interviews for real. You know what I'm saying? But I could do this with bruh because he was there. You was there every step of the way. So it's just like us having a conversation. But these weird motherfuckers who ask stupid ass questions and shit, bro. I ain't gonna say no names, but you know these talking heads in hip hop that be just trying to start shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like motherfuckers asking me about some very specific details and implicating motherfuckers in crimes and shit like that. But that's a part of hip hop that I don't want. Like I'm just not gonna participate in. Y'all gonna have to put the pieces together on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not doing that.
Well, that's that weird shit though. That's that because that's like it feels like if you coming from this, you already know where to go when you even doing this. You know what I mean? You should be up to date and you should know what time it is when you
Man, I don't understand how niggas be doing that, bro. Like, but I know what it's like to feel desperate though. I do know that. And when you're desperate, you make some dumbass decisions. Anything, you do anything out of desperation. You feel me? When you scared to go back to wherever you at or where you came from, you do some desperate ass shit. You talk about shit that you're not supposed to talk about. You listen to fucking advice that you know you shouldn't be listening to. You let motherfuckers get in your ear and tell you that this is gonna be good for your career. Man, some shit that's good for your career is bad for your personal life, bro. Let me tell you, these young niggas listening, you feel me? Hey, listen, for these likes and these views and shit, it's not worth it, bro. Trust me. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm just gonna leave it at that. A lot of personal shit been going on that where I felt like rapping was stupid for a minute.
I got you.
Because I can't rap about what I'm going through because it's too personal. What I look like to my people when I'm leaving here and then going to the studio and rapping about it, they're gonna look at me like, what the fuck are you doing? You feel me? I'm gonna look at myself like I'm lame. Like, you feel me? Like,
let me go rap. I'm going to the studio, y'all. I know y'all going through that, but I'm gonna go rap about this real quick.
I'm about to go rap and put it out. And then y'all gonna come celebrate with like we mourning right now. You feel what I'm saying? Shit like that. Or we going through some serious shit. So that shit gonna end up in my music by little pieces. Like I end up putting it in my music. It's kind of encrypted though. You know what I'm saying? So if you up on game, you'll catch it. But as far as getting in front of these cameras and talking about certain shit, like we're not gonna do that. Like Bay Area niggas really don't do that. That's like some other shit.
That's just another. That's like a whole nother thing that Bay Area just got. We don't. There's a bar that we. Well, it's been pushed though. It's been pushed.
It get pushed sometimes. It get pushed, but man, the backlash comes so fast. It's not even worth it. You feel me? You know what I want to ask you, bro? We was talking about this the other night because I know you keep your ear to the streets. You listen to a lot of shit. Out of the younger generation, this is a two-part question, by the way. Out of these younger cats that's coming up right now, 18, 19, 20, who do you like? Who have you heard if you listen to? And who do you like and why you like them?
Let me see. See, there's a lot of cats that are just kind of getting started, but then they're, let me try to find, I could do just like this. I could tell you who. Let me do like this. I'm gonna do this real quick. And I'm gonna be able to tell you. So I like the cat that did the thing with DJ Muggs. What's his name? Rome Streets. I like Rome Streets. Have you heard of him?
Never heard of him. Rome Streets.
Rome Streets. He just did an album with Muggs. He's from New York. But he did a whole thing with Muggs, you know, DJ Muggs, you know, the
Shout out DJ
cat.
Muggs.
Yeah, yeah. And that's, you know, that was another blessing when we did Sweetbreads. That got us into Shade 45 for Soul Assassins to kick it with DJ Muggs and the crew and do the interview. He's my favorite producer. So
Muggs is a legend.
Yeah,
that shit was happening so fast at that time, bro.
I know you can't even
like, I gotta give it up. Like, I don't know what was going on, how we ended up in, like, I'm wake up, I'm like, that DJ Muggs. I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't even know who he was at first, but then I did my homework after, and I'm like, oh shit. Like,
it's real.
This is a big deal. Like, they lining me up right now. Okay. You feel me? So I gotta, you know, I'm gonna start running around. You know, we through this pandemic shit, we was all pigeonholed. But now things opening up, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to start making some little ghost appearances, you know what I'm saying? Some little, you know what I'm saying, popping up here and there. But you know, but that's how it is, bro.
That's one of the cats. I don't know how young. I don't know. I mean, I don't know his age, but he's a, you know, cat that been doing it for a couple of years. And I like Simba. You know, you heard of Simba.
He raw. God damn, I'll be catching his little freestyles, bro.
Go crazy.
That's what he see nigga like that. He sound like he was born to rap. Like, get that man a deal immediately. Put him in. He was born to do this. You feel what I'm saying? Young nigga who just got it. You feel me? Like, he just woke up one day and was just like, could fuck with it like that. You feel me? Straight up. But,
and I know he been at it for a while. Like, he's a younger cat, but he been at it for, you know, some of these younger cats still been in it for damn near, you know, 8-9 years. You know, getting busy.
Getting busy for sure. Yep, that's another one too. What about the more on the local scene in the Bay Area?
I like. Well, I mean, it's just funny because, like, I just started getting connected with Troy Lift.
Yeah.
Is
Legends live forever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just, you know, through the Instagram, I started getting into their zone, and him and the cat on Poozy. Homeboy, I think he, like they rock like in Want More Nate. Want More, have you heard of them?
I don't think I've heard of them. The Poozy and Want More Nate.
Yeah, but I think Homeboy, he's from New Orleans, but he rocks with them. So I've been through Troy, I've been getting kind of introduced to the whole crew. What is it? Legends live forever. They from Fillmore. They're from Fillmore too. Okay, so yeah, so see, naturally, we just kind of like, I stumbled on it, and I start my homeboy that I do the drums and ammo with. He knows Troy, and he delivered him a hat. He came to San Francisco and delivered it to him, and I was like, all right. He put him in my world, so I just started checking him out, and I'm like, oh man, they got the samples and shit. Like, it sounds like shit that that I'm already kind of accustomed to listening to. So that's like, so I mean, it's been a lot of San Francisco cats. And then I mean, let me see. Then the other cat from Zell. You heard of Zell from San Francisco?
What's his name?
He goes by Zell, Zell DMR.
Zell.
Zell.
Where's he from in the city?
I'm not sure. But the Jealous guy put me on to him, and he's crazy too. So I mean, and then Grand National. I know you familiar with Grand National, right? That's the whole collective. You know, that's what
when I seen that, I was like, I'm glad to see them come together like that. You got some joints? You working with some joints on their projects?
Hopefully, I mean, they got it's a collective of like producers, so they got their whole thing. Hopefully, I can get
who all is in that group?
I'm gonna start to try to name them all, but this always happens. This is the hoodie we did for the show we did with them. You know, we did a live stream with them. It's the Drums and Ammo logo right there. It's the Grand National. But Kevin Allen, Monty Draper, Brookfield Deuce, Mo Green, Champ Green, Password, Black Achilles.
My nigga Mike.
Mike, Black Achilles. Oh man, Ian Kelly, D Bledsoe.
Okay, so they really squatted up, like they up for real.
It's
Nice.
vicious. It's vicious. So, you know,
I
the
gotta
whole
check on
crew is
that
like,
too.
they just got the whole crew and they just make, you know, they got videographers, everything is in the camp. So it's, you know what I mean? It's, you know, I don't like to be like, oh man, this is something, but you know, this kind of like Sweetbreadish when we had our crew, you know, we didn't have we weren't as heavy as far as the artistic the artists, you know, like we had
The
more,
rappers,
yeah, we had everything else, but we didn't have a lot of MCs. So now
which
they
is
have,
crazy.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Like,
It's crazy.
yeah,
'Cause
when you think about
rappers, you could go find a rapper anywhere. You feel me? But no, you're right though. But that's dope though, bro. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
man.
Like I catch wind of what they doing every once in a while, like
Mhm.
online and shit. I'm like, okay, niggas came together and yeah, I gotta check for it, man. I gotta do my little homework on it.
Yeah, it's funky. So I always try to get a question that that kind of like is outside of the music. So let's talk about something that it's I call it a hidden gem, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the thread with the Sweetbread thread. Can you tell us about your involvement with Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
Because that's all if you want a Sweetbread thread,
If you on our group chat,
yeah,
I know Ambush be like, oh shit, they on this Bitcoin shit again. Well, yeah, we could talk a little bit about that too, because I've
yeah,
been getting my beak wet in
yeah.
terms of in the investing,
Mhm.
you know, realm. You know, that's kind of why I be, you know, ducked off a lot of time because I caught wind of just opportunities. Those opportunities come to me, and I kind of got obsessed with it for a minute. You know, when I'm on something, I'm one of those people like when I'm on something and I get it interested, I got to go all the way in. You feel me? I get obsessed and like a fiend. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Bitcoin. I probably got like 10% of my portfolio in Bitcoin right now. You know what I'm saying?
So break all
I'm
that
not
down to like the most layman term. You know what I mean? Like, if you
okay.
don't know anything
I'm
about it.
gonna keep it as simple as possible for people who kind of like super green in the terms of just digital assets in general. We're gonna start off with just the term of investing. If you don't invest in, break down into two things: seed and harvest. Right? Just think about a farmer. Farmer plant a seed. You can't go and get the fruits of that seed in a few days, a few weeks, a few months. You got to wait a whole season. You know what I'm saying? At least a year, 2 years, sometimes maybe less than that or even longer. So I've been just perfecting my own style of seeding and harvest in terms of that. So Bitcoin is basically, I'm not a technical dude, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand all of the technology behind these digital assets, but I do understand that they are the future of transactions and holding currencies, exchanging currencies and storing money. The future is in digital assets because the dollar, everybody know the dollar is kind of outdated. You know what I mean? The banking industry, as we know it, is pretty outdated. It hasn't changed since these last 100 years. Everything else changed except for banking and probably like fossil fuels and shit. You know what I'm saying? So as we moving more towards the future, I started realizing like I don't, you know, we start ways, we trendsetters, we like to be innovators, but in terms of investing and just being ahead of the curve in terms of making money or in the, like basically the money industry, Black folks is behind. You feel me? Like my mama and everybody in my family is behind. We don't get our bank accounts or learn how to use credit until we damn near 30. You feel me? So I saw that as troublesome or just a problem in our community. So when I caught wind of the knowledge just about digital assets and how to invest, you know, kind of, I guess you could say, cunning investing, I was like, this is some shit I got to share with my folks. So Bitcoin is basically a digital coin that is not very effective in terms of exchanging money, like paying somebody in Bitcoin. Sometimes the fees is high, but if you just put money in Bitcoin and let it sit, your money will grow like interest over in 30 days, 60 days, 6 months, over a year. Your money it has a track record of having good returns. You feel what I'm saying? So the best way to look at Bitcoin is like digital gold. Gold has been going up since the beginning of time. Gold always rises. You know what I'm saying? It's a precious metal that people store their money where they know their money is going to be safe. It's going to be basically worth more than having the cash sitting in the bank. So Bitcoin is like digital gold, like a gold on steroids in a digital form. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm trying to break it down, but I'm actually trying to explain something that I just started to understand. So it's a little choppy, but that's pretty much what it is. And then you got all the altcoins, which is any coin that's not a Bitcoin, they call it an alternate coin, an altcoin. And those are like small versions that got different uses that you can use them for. So basically, in a nutshell, we at a financial revolution right now. Okay. Like we had the turning point in time where in 10 years, people are gonna be like, damn, I wish I would have jumped on this and that and the third, because everybody gonna be paying digitally. You know what I mean? Money, cash, like fiat paper money is still gonna be around all over the world. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, that's never gonna go away, but it's gonna be inconvenient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
The more convenient thing is just gonna be to pay with your phone, Blue, or pay with anything digitally. Like right now, you know how you pay with your Visa or your card when you're buying something? Mm-hmm. It's always a little fee attached to that usually. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's a little fee. If you pay with a credit card, they're gonna charge you interest. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when these digital assets start to get in sync with everybody and we have an infrastructure to back it up, then everything's gonna be liquid. You know what I mean? That's the best way to put it. Right now, money moves like this around the world. Mm. It's slow. Mm-hmm. It's, you know what I mean? It goes and it stops. It goes and it stops. Mm-hmm. It's like 16-bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
That's how money moves around the world. But once this new infrastructure for finance get in place, money gonna be moving like this. You could get $1 million from here to Japan like that. Right now, you gotta wait a few days, maybe a few weeks, and you're gonna get taxed on it. You feel what I'm saying? And it might not get there depending on how you do it. You feel me? So that's why you be catching wind of those Bitcoin conversations in the thread. Because like I said, I'm not no, guru on the shit, but I'm a student of that because I already know, like, okay, this is where everything is going. You feel what I'm saying? All the institutions, all the banks is putting their money in Bitcoin because they see like shit is the future. Nothing can't even deny it.
But you got tripped too. Like imagine like when the debit card kicked in. Like that had to be, you know what I'm saying? That had to be crazy.
That's like, my pops and them. My pops still don't pay with no debit cards to this day. You feel me? Because he like, I'm not putting my card on that computer. I'm not putting my card. He got one, but he like, no, you know what I'm saying? He's still cash. He still checks. He mail checks to pay his bills. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But like I said, that's like moving money hella slow. Yeah. And you got to think the faster you move, get from one point to the other, the faster you'll be able to take that money and do what you need to do. And so it just makes everything more fluid. But yeah, you're right, bro. The debit card changed the game because it made it cash a little bit more digitized, but it's still
that next
not
step.
Completely fluid because I can't send you, if I wanted to send you 30,000 right now, it probably the fastest way to do it would probably be to drive to you and give you the cash. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this is about to change all that because the banks are losing money and losing time by not being liquid, by not getting money from England to Africa like that. It's like they losing time. They paying fees, you know what I'm saying, attached to it, like all that shit. So they about to get rid of all that, bro. And so chime in, you know what I'm saying, on these convos, bro, because you know what I'm saying? Your daughters, your daughter's gonna be teaching you pretty soon.
My oldest already is. She talking about Robin Hood and had Tanya and I like, what? Like, damn, all right. But so let's get on the album. Let's talk about 99 percenters. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about
what's your favorite joint on there?
My favorite joint is probably I'm gonna go with Sophisticated. Jeez, man.
Okay.
Because that just get me like, see, like, I grew up on East Coast shit, straight up. Like I grew up on East Coast because before there was an East Coast, West Coast music, I grew up on hip hop, and that shit was just happened to all be from New York. You know what I mean?
Oh, because I was about to ask, like, how being from the Bay, how did you have a direct
Because I was
pipeline
yeah.
to that music? Because I didn't find out about I didn't hear no East Coast music till I was probably in high school.
Wow. No, well, I mean, it goes back to like Sugar Hill Gang, Curtis Blow. You know, I'm talking about the foundational stick cats. You know, Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5.
Was it on TV, or was it on, like, what form of media got it to you?
It was
back then.
The first time I heard hip hop straight up was in Oakland, listening to the radio, and they played Sugar Hill Gang. No, they played The Message. You know, don't push me.
Okay.
Close to
you was at a club?
No, I was at the house, just at the crib, and they just playing it on the radio.
So the FM radio, or like they had to take?
This was regular radio. This was probably like, you know, like it probably wasn't FM at that point. It was probably AM. I wish I knew, but they were still playing. They'd play like Curtis Blow. They'd play like the Sugar Hill Gang. They'd play, for this trip, because for a couple of years, you'd only have one or two songs that represented hip hop, or you had 5 songs that were like, these are
5
the songs. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, so you'd listen to Curtis Blow for like 5 months or whatever, and then Run DMC started coming down the pipe, you know, a little bit later, but it was so much space between each one of these songs. So, like growing up as a hip hop listener, I stuck to the foundation of what started with, you know. So
I'll be forgetting, bro, because you like a fucking vampire for real. Like, these motherfuckers don't know your real age.
I know, no.
Forgetting that you actually seen the inception
from the very first songs to be played. Like, there's no hip hop, and then there's this thing called hip hop. You know, prior to that, we listening to Al Green, and you know, Al Green.
That's what I grew up on.
Earth, Wind,
Al
Fire,
Green and the
stuff like
stylistics, Earth, Wind, Fire.
But then when hip hop hit, it was over. Like, that was a
niggas weren't listening to that no more.
At least, you know, at least in my, you know, me and my older brothers, it was kind of like, oh, we got our thing now.
Got our thing.
You know, so when I listen, so to bring that up to Sophisticated G's, it just gives me it's a real, like, that's like a super East Coasty, like, it's just like, and it's like, it reminds me of like a Mos Def song. And then it had like the beat, just the energy, just the, man, it has and the bounce is like you bounce, like you rode it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm telling you, man, like,
that's crazy, bro. Because when I'm out, you got a great idea of stylistically, you know what I'm saying? Because you seen the progression up to this point. When I'm on the East Coast, like out here, even motherfuckers from my neighborhood or anywhere in the Bay, they think I sound like I'm from the East Coast. But when I go to the East Coast, they be like, you sound like you from down south. And I'm like, and then when I go down south, they be like, I don't know where you sound like you from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never heard that style over these beats. So they can't really make up where I'm from. But the East Coast niggas, they don't think I sound nothing like them. You know what I'm saying? Like, at all.
Yeah.
Like, I stick out like a sore thumb in their mind. You feel me? But it's interesting to hear those perspectives, because I could, you know, the beats, clearly the samples is, you know, the type, the style of samples that I gravitate to, because I always like, you know, the DJ premieres. I always like the Havoc. I always liked Pete Rock. You know what I'm saying? I like Jake Dilla. I like, he from the Midwest, but you know, the list goes on. You know what I mean? Like, when I first got introduced to East Coast music, it was Illmatic was the first album I heard. Keita and Johan was playing that shit out. And I was like, at first, when I first heard it, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? And I was just like, before then, it was JT the Bigger Figure, San Quinn, RBL Posse, Rapping Forte. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Dre, Too Short. Middle school. You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of Bone Thugs, like, you
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? I was my pocket back then. It was I didn't have no cable TV, so I couldn't watch videos. You feel what I'm saying? So it was no medium for me to get East Coast music until I went to somebody else who had cable. You know what I'm saying?
Had to
And
happen.
I seen the videos. I was like, Rap City. I'm like, okay, so now I can understand. I can not just hearing Nas. I don't understand it because I never been to New York. I don't know what type of shit this is. Sounds weird to me. You feel me? You rapping hella sophisticated and shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like, then I see it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I see the flavor. I see where they're coming from with it. And then my brother sent me D, he started putting me on to Wu-Tang, and you know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, okay, this shit is different. Like, this is mania.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it took me a minute to warm up to it. And once I got warmed up to it, I'm like, yeah, I gotta have to go grab some tapes of my own. You know what I'm saying? I think the first East Coast rapper tape I bought was Ghostface. I think it was the Supreme Clientele album.
Oh, you started with Supreme Clientele? Oh my goodness. Oh my
Right. So he a big influence, like on the songs where I be just kind of telling stories.
Yeah.
You feel me? I always like how Ghostface tells stories. You feel me? So I took that from him. But you say 99% is sophisticated G's is your two joints that you picked that you
I mean, I didn't say 99%ers, but I would say, well, I say sophisticated G's too because I just had ideas for it that I wanted to do. 99%ers is I mean, that speaks to my whole, like sample, the whole like.
Sound like a beat you would have made.
Yeah, that's what
sound like a beat you would have made.
So I mean, let's talk about Big D because I want to get on the album. Let's talk about Big D, who's kind of like he's to me like I don't think have we ever met? He's like the cat that
you know what? We was at Rock the Bells one year. We ran into him in traffic, but we was doing so much shit. I was like, there go Big D, because nobody ever met Big D. He be tucked off just like I do. You feel me? He like a ghost. But I introduced y'all, but it was so quick you probably don't even remember.
Yeah.
But shout out Big D.
He's not on Instagram or anything like that, is he?
He is on Instagram. I'm gonna link y'all
two
up.
Yeah, please link
his name is Daniel Sainez.
Okay.
Daniel Sainez. That's his government name he go by. But I linked up with Big D back in through the Done Deal Quinn and Rich Rocker and Big Rich. You know what I'm saying? And my brother. So he was working closely with them at our studio. Like, so we just started working and developing a relationship. He liked my style of rapping. He was like, I got beats that I feel like only you can rap to, but I ain't gonna give them to nobody else. So he just started feeding me the shit that coincidentally was in the same vein of what we was working on. So we just built a relationship since then. It's crazy too, because we got the same birthday. We found out hella later. You know what I'm saying? So we got kind of like that producer rapper chemistry, like me and you or me and Al got. You feel what I'm saying? He be blasting me a pack every once in a while. And, you know, I got some shit in the tuck with me and Big D that I'm gonna release probably soon too. So
that's tight, man.
That's that.
I always he's kind of like he reminds me of you if you were a producer, just like.
That's crazy. That's an even better way to put it.
Yeah, because he like I've never met him. I don't know how many songs, I mixed songs, but he's never broke his neck to be like, I need to get in I need to be, they come through. Can I get in the interview? He's just kind of like, he's just like, here go beat. He's not like, he never got back to us like, yo, can you fix the kick or the snare or this is wrong? He just kind of was like, man, boom.
Do what y'all do. He got a lot of talk to him because he just released a compilation too. Y'all gotta go check that out. I'm on that too.
Okay.
It's, what is it called? God damn it. I forgot what it was called, but I posted it up, but he put out a compilation. Yeah, bro. He huge fan of everything we've been doing. You know what I'm saying? That's just like we were a fan of his. It's like he always talk about it, like the music that we make, you, Al, the Sweetbread shit.
Yeah.
Big time, bro. So we kind of like the stepchild of, you know what I'm saying, the red stepchild of what we've been doing because he ain't got no face. But shout out Big D.
That's the phantom. So just break down the meaning of black privilege. Break that down. You know what I mean? Like what's the theme? What's the meaning?
Black privilege is basically everybody has. I feel like every person, no matter what your background is, you do have some advantages. You have privileges that you need to appreciate and seize those opportunities and lean into your privileges. Don't run from it. You know what I'm saying? You know, the term white privilege was probably coined first, which everybody's familiar with what that is. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want black people to think that they don't have any privileges or any advantages or anything special about them that they can offer the world. You feel what I'm saying? Same with my Asian brothers. You feel me? Asian people have privileges. You know what I'm saying? Mexicans have privileges that only Mexicans can exercise. Yeah, we all got our disadvantages, and I just think people focus on the disadvantages and the underprivileged. The underprivileged disadvantages too much. You know, I was seeing it a lot, and just the energy. I'm big on vibration and energy. You know what I'm saying? And when I talk to my people, just like in the streets, my young guys or black queens, it's kind of like almost a black cloud, you know, especially in San Francisco. The black community been almost decimated. You feel me? And it's a black cloud in the hood, like that we can't shake. You know what I mean? And it rains some days, most of the days, but some days it's sunny. So I'm just like focused on the sunny days. These are some of the black privileges that I like to lean into and to just be thankful for it. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the gist of if you want to know specifically in detail, you gotta listen to the album. You feel what I'm saying? Because you know it is what it is, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, I was talking when I talked to Nina Parks the other day.
Nina Parks, shout out Nina Parks, man, and God, Gifted Doja. They got some of the best tree, man. I'm gonna get some next time I hit the club for sure.
Yeah. So we were talking about. She was talking about her cannabis distribution, and she was talking about the privilege of having her culture to work with. You know, like to make whatever to create what she's creating. She has access to her culture. You know, to whatever, and you know, she comes from a hip hop culture fully. You know
absolutely.
So it's like, and so it kind of led into me being like, yeah, I mean, it's like kind of lines up with DaVinci's black privilege. Like it's the privilege that we have is sought after from these corporations. So you can't ever really sleep on it and think like, no matter how much rap is out there, there's a zillion rappers, there's still a company that's willing to try to figure out how to cut into that market.
Absolutely. And that's a gift, you know, and us just as a people, I don't think we recognize that. I think people recognize that in us more than we see it in ourselves. You know what I mean? It took me a minute to even see that, you know, because when you grow up around just a lot of negative shit, it's like, it's not like nobody is teaching you that, you know, for the most part. Yeah, they'll tell you black is beautiful, and quotes like that when you're young, you know what I'm saying? Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, shit like that. But you really don't see it translate over into the world when you coming up. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, why are we getting killed? Why are we getting slain in the street like that? Why half my family in jail? Why half of the young women is getting impregnated, you know what I'm saying, at a young age, teen pregnant? Why we seem like we always getting the shit in of the stick? If you know what I'm saying, if black is so beautiful, it wasn't adding up for a minute. You know what I mean? But it was just because of the small bubble I was in. Once I stepped outside of the hood, then I saw it. You know what I mean? I seen our people for who we really are, and continue to try to shed light on that. You know what I'm saying? Take the lemons, make lemonade if you must. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like you said, you know, shout out to Nina because she's somebody who is a curator within our culture as well. You know what I'm saying? And her brother too. Shout out to Josh, you know, with Madman and Mirage Medicinal. We, us as people, we had the opportunity to take what we got. These corporations are the ones who kind of showed us that out the gate too. And it always been like that, even since slavery, right? They could have brought anybody to the United States to do free labor for 250 years. You know what I'm saying? But it was something about these specific people. Why these people? You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is, you know, and that was that part. And you just look back through history, every moment, you can see times where our Black privilege was either exploited or we was able to see it in ourselves, you know what I'm saying, and reap the benefits on our own. So, you know, I was in that bag though, you know, when I was thinking about it. You know, I got to get a little political on it, but not too much. It's a lot of feel good music on there. It's, you know, it's a still shot of like my mind frame where I was at that time. You know what I'm saying? But Sophisticated G's, everybody telling me that. That's probably gonna be the first video we roll out. I'm talking to some directors right now. I got some ideas for that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we're gonna give y'all some more, give them some visuals and shit real soon. You feel me?
You down to do some live like performances? You know? Because
I mean, hey, once they start opening shit back up, you know what I mean? I mean, you know what? I probably will. You know, first couple of shows I do, I might just pop up somewhere. You know what I mean? I'll talk to some of my folks who doing their grand openings since things is coming back open again. I might fuck around and pop up. I can't say just for show yet, but you know, stay locked in. I'm gonna let people know. Come get some of the sauce in the flesh, man. Come get some cream in the flesh, man. I might need you to get to get down with, you know,
oh, man,
put your idea that you got into the live show, man. Like you know how we fuck with it.
That's right. Because we know we're doing it's like we did this thing with Drums and Ammo. We did the show. We got to get that up on YouTube too. We did we got the spot in San Francisco. We had the cameras and all that. We did the merch for it. So we can do a DaVinci, the Drums and Ammo collab, which need to happen. I mean, that's just, you know what I mean?
We gotta do some Black privilege.
Yeah.
You know, Drums and Ammo merch.
We'll do that.
Off the top.
Yeah, man. Well, man, I'm gonna hold them right there, man.
Absolutely, bro.
Man, we did it.
Y'all go get that Black privilege, man. If y'all ain't heard it, go. You know, it's on all the streaming platforms. You know, stream and share it. You know what I'm saying? And look out for some more shit. Shout out Drums and Ammo. We're still rocking and rolling, baby.
That's right. What's your socials? Well, you know, you got your Instagram websites or
DaVinci 415, DAVINCI 415. That's everywhere. That's where you can find it.
Twitter, Instagram.
Any
website going on right now, or?
Nope, I ain't got no website right now. No website. I might throw something up there when we start rolling out the merch, but just lock in with me on social if you want to figure out what I'm finna do next. Stay locked in. We're gonna fuck around with it like that for now.
It is. Well, man, thank you for taking the time out to
brother. Anytime with you, bro. You already know.
That's right. We're gonna click back up too. We got to do I try to not dig too much into Sweetbreads so we could get Smile Shmia.
Hey, that for the episode when Al here. You feel me?
Yeah, we get Smile Shmia in there so he could chop it up with it so we could give that real exclusive just in case anybody wants to get that historical value of the bread crew. You know, that was a moment. Man, thank you. I'm gonna talk to you again. This is DJ Ambush for This, That, and the Third Drums and Ammo show. And we'll catch you on the next one. I'm gonna holler at you, boy.
100.
Be easy.